Hey up and welcome back to Life with Tom. Once again, I'm Tom. I'm going to be honest and say this week has been a fairly heavy week for me. I've not applied myself as well as I could have. I mean, I've had a lot going on up here, so mentally I am drained. So much so that I've used every excuse under the sun to avoid doing cold water. So there was one of the nights, massively psyched myself up, got down to the ice bath, and because I'd forgot my hat, I completely wrote that off. It'd have taken 30 seconds to nip back into the house to get my hat, then come back out, but because I was in that state and I saw that catalyst to not do it, I then believed that, accepted that, went through with it. So yeah, mentally I've been drained. That's because of co-parenting. So just regards the co-parenting, we both have Harrison's best interests at heart. However, with us not living together, we don't always communicate that as well as we should, and it has caused some real big issues this week. I am proud with how I've handled it in terms of not being triggered into an argument. I've tried to remain calm, have that level of emotional intelligence, try to understand the other parent's point of view whilst sticking to so what I consider to be in Harrison's best interests. So this again is coping mechanisms in action. So I am aware we have Christmas coming up. That will be it'll be an interesting time as a co-parent, trying to juggle my life, Harrison, trying to consider the other parent whilst remaining just calm and understanding, and also working. So my work doesn't stop. So I'm a stock person, so I look after animals, care for animals. So every day I will be working. I have the odd day off that I've rotated in, but yeah, even then it's just like one day here, one day there, and on those days off I'll have Harrison. But yeah, this is about, with us coming up to the back end of the year, something I did last year through my men's group, and it's something I'm implementing in my men's group. The one I sort of facilitate is an end of year review. If you're wondering what that is, I do have Buddy is just down there. I think you can just see his head. But yeah, end of year review. So that's asking yourself questions regarding personal health and well-being, finances, career, personal development, hobbies, pleasure and leisure. So you've got your topics there, and then you ask yourself 3 questions for one topic. So you ask yourself, what did I want to create? What were my greatest hits and what were my biggest misses? So you can sort of evaluate where you're at, where you could have applied yourself slightly harder moving into next year, and what you're proud of and what you've achieved. So you can look back and just be grateful and proud of what you've achieved. It's very easy to achieve something and then just write it off, because you're constantly chasing sort of future goals, and there's nothing wrong with that. But who you are now is based off your present and working towards your future. Everything is relevant to that individual. So for me, I used to compare myself a lot, and I used to write myself off because other people were achieving more, but they were slightly, well, I can say they were further along their journey, or they were better at self-development. But I allowed myself to compare, not realising, well, actually, Tom, to compare yourself, there is an element of self-development there, because you're trying to align yourself with that person. So how you reframe things and how you think about things, very important. And then you have 3 questions at the end. I'll have to talk about those when I get back home, because I have forgotten them, unfortunately. But one of them is, who were your anchors? So all of last year, my parents played a very big role. Well, I say last year, this year, my parents played a very big role. My sister, again, has stepped up and she's starting to reach out more and more because of the process I'm going through. My men's group, both the one previous and the one that I've created, we still talk every single day. And they were big for me, huge anchors. So they allowed me to vent, they allowed that healthy challenging, that tough love coming back at me. They respected what I said, they understood what I said, they countered what I said. And to have that sort of brotherhood, that camaraderie, absolutely fantastic. So they were huge, huge anchors for me, along with my work colleagues. I say work colleagues, I always say this, there's no such thing as work friends, work colleagues, but I'm in a very, very close-knit team and they are like friends. I would meet them outside of work and talk about non-work things, so I'm very lucky in that, and they were huge anchors for me. And again, my dog, Buddy. So Buddy, he just listens, non-judgmental, and yeah, I just fucking love him. We'll get on with the walk and then we'll talk about what I'm wanting to achieve next year. So there's 3 things I'm wanting to do, and we'll talk about those further on the walk. So for those of you that watched, I'm sure it was video 1 or 2, I love a pine tree, and paired with that sky, I don't know whether you can see that, just that yellowness coming through, paired with the pine tree. I just love, to be honest, I just love where I live, so I'm very lucky in that. So I'm northeast Derbyshire, so we are very rolling hill, and just over there, just on the horizon, we have the Peak District. So very lucky, very, very lucky. Just look at that. I'm going to make a point of wild camping in there, which nicely links me into what I want to do next year. We'll just check out Buddy one more time, because he is happy. So one of the things I'm going to do is something called a misogi, and that is a old Japanese tradition. So once a year you do something so life-defining, such a huge challenge, it is so far outside of your comfort zone that you think it's not possible. And my misogi last year was a 24-hour run. I just wanted to see how far I could get, how far my legs and my mind could carry me in a 24-hour period. Unfortunately, I didn't make the 24 hours. I think I got to about hour 16. But in that time, I managed to cover 55 miles through the Peak District with a stupid amount of height gain. So I'd like to revisit that. I also have an idea of crossing the Peak District on the longest day, so start at sunrise and try and complete it for sunset. So yeah, you'll see those later on in the year. It's also introducing micro adventures into your life. So every other month, introduce a micro adventure into your life. I'd like to do this once a month. and just take myself off wild camping. So I've just mentioned the Pinewood back there, about wild camping in there. So yeah, there'll be a lot more wild camping. I've got a stupid amount of tents. I've got hammocks, 1 person, 2 person, right up to an 8 person bell tent. So there'll be a lot of camping. But yeah, introduce micro adventures into your life. And winning habits. So this is something I didn't do. Sort of plodding through life, I was very much a passenger and not the driver of my life. So I've adjusted that slightly through my previous men's group. So every month we added a new winning habit. I've stuck with 3, which are cold water. I've always done cold water. Exercise, so those are non-negotiables for me. I've introduced reading. Yeah, 4 I guess, and journaling. So I used to journal every day. I still do, but it's now more of a gratitude journal, with the larger scale journaling for if I've had like a really shit day and I'm just mentally and emotionally just drained, just so I can revisit that when things have sort of calmed down and I've returned to that base level, if you want to call it that, and just assess where things have gone. So I don't tell myself a story. I try and bullet point things, like bullet point actions that led me to feeling frustrated, angry, say, so I can revisit those and see what the triggers were, and just sort of explore those. So that's how I go about my journaling. So yeah, add a winning habit every month or every quarter, and just see how it positively impacts your life. I am happy. Right, let's crack on and I'll show you. Go on, buddy. So yeah, the pine trees are just around the corner. I love these 2 oaks. I think because they sort of stand alone, they've had the option to, well, I say the option, the chance to grow to their almost entirety. It's just this section here where it hasn't. Yeah, so I'd like to camp around there. I'd like to camp here. That's another favourite sort of woodland. So you've got the mixed pine and larch. I love that, so we'll go and explore that. And I'm just enjoying myself. So this sort of woodland I absolutely love. Mine is the holly, but that's down to woodland management, which I enjoy. So for me, that had come out. But yeah, I just love looking up. So that's why I love sort of Scots pine or any pine wood. I just love looking up, seeing that canopy. So in here we've got the pines, we've got the larch, and I think it's just yeah, it's just a beauty within it. I love that. Well, what we'll do, we'll head further down the valley, look back up and see that sort of silhouette I was talking about, and just have fun. Go on. So looking here, love that section. There's a long wood that heads up there. That's mixed, so both deciduous and coniferous. Love that. And as we pan round, I just love that. It's fantastic. And what I love in autumn is that larch gives you that nice, vivid orange colour. paired with your sort of dark green coniferous, and on a blue sort of day, those colours just light up something in here for me. Gratitude. This is gratitude in action. Isn't it, buddy? Come here. What do you think, mate? Come. Just look at that. Joe, when you love where you live, it's pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of people complain about where they live. I guess I am lucky in this, in that just at the top of that hill is Dronfield, and this is, well, I don't know if you can see it, there's just a road up there. That's 5-minute walk from the house, and we're straight down into this. So today's route brought me down. We went up along the ridge, back along, we saw the pine, first pine back there, then we've sort of meandered down and back up. So this video will be slightly out of sync in that I did the finishing down there, but I'm now here. It is what it is. Yeah, in terms of winning habits, so I know I've mentioned workouts before, but I've always been homegrown. I've never been to a gym. Well, I signed up to a gym once. I went, didn't like it. Then for, how old am I now, 36. From the age of about 17, 18, I've been homegrown in terms of just free weights, press ups, anything heavy that I could move. But this year, based off the men's group that I facilitate, we do weekly wins and work-ons, one of which was I wanted to work my legs a lot harder, so sign up to a gym. So that is now a winning habit that I've added into my sort of week. I don't go every day. I might go to the gym twice and just absolutely fuck my legs up. That's the easiest way to describe it, with the sort of quad extender, quad extension machine, station, whatever you want to call it, and the kettlebells. So I load myself up with kettlebells, 20 kilogram either side, to sort of squats with them, and then raises, sort of shoulder raises if you want to call them that, or jerks, whatever you would call them. Well, yeah, that's what I do. So that is an example of adding a habit into your life to better yourself. So pretty simple, just joining the gym. But I feel I'm now moving forward in terms of my physical health and where I wanted to be, because I was pretty mismatched. My top half didn't really match my bottom half, and so yeah, I did that to a work on, acted on it, now going to the gym twice a week. Just regarding the questions I mentioned up there, and I'd have to talk about them when I got back home. I've actually got them in the WhatsApp chat. So finishing questions: what did I not create because of fear? I love that question. Who were my anchors for this year? So we've explored that. What drained my energy? Now, I love that question. And when you think about it on a deeper level, just go a level deeper. So answer it, go a level deeper. I love that. And what have I learned about myself? So for me, when I mention what have I learned about myself, that when I apply myself, I'm capable of very, very good things, both mentally and physically. I'm a very driven person, but I keep saying but, however, sometimes that inner voice with me can win, like we mentioned regarding the cold water, and just the slightest thing managed to derail me. And then when I got back inside, I felt like shit. So yeah, moving forward, just to be kinder to myself. What else have I learned? That the calmer I am, and this applies to work, the calmer I am, the more people are open to having dialogue with me. If I'm angry, nobody wants to talk to Angry Tom, whereas if I'm a calm, open, understanding, considerate, sometimes challenging in a healthy way, then it opens that dialogue. And I've had some real good conversations this year with, like I say, colleagues. Another thing I've noticed is my confidence. So doing all this self-development, self-awareness, I'm a lot more confident. So I've stopped here purposely because you've got pine trees and we've got Buddy. That'll make a good thumbnail actually. Yeah, my confidence. So I now don't mind what people think of me. As daft as that sounds, I've tried to shed that people pleasing, and it's like we've mentioned in previous videos, where my self-perception and other people's perception, do they align? If not, but I'm sticking to my and where I'm heading in life. So if I receive feedback, be it constructive criticism, I'll explore it. If it holds no weight, or I feel like they're acting out of resentment, sort of pettiness, just disregard that and just fucking plow on. And I think that's been a real powerful shift for me. Love that. So what we'll do is we'll end the video there. I'll just get Buddy in the background. Come here, sit down. Good boy, mate. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining. I'm sure I'll do more. Well, I am going to do more of these, and we'll try and do camping. Yeah, lots of camping, because I need to go camping. I love wild camping in winter. So yeah, we'll see some more of that. Thank you very much.